Vigilantes? Thank you for tuning in and being with us today. We have a very awesome guest, and is Vik Sharma of Cake Wallet. How are you doing, Vik?
Good. I'm doing good.
So Vik is the CEO and founder of Cake Wallet, and he has a very interesting story as to how he came into Bitcoin, how he came into Monero. And I've heard bits and pieces of this story from different people, and I want to hear it from you, Vik. How did you get into Bitcoin? How did you discover Monero?
Well, let's see, how far back do you want to go? I think with Bitcoin, like a lot of people, when Bitcoin hit about $1,000 in 2013, and it kind of shocked the world. And me being a techie guy by heart, everybody knows me as a steel guy. So I've been in the steel industry ever since I graduated college. After I did engineering, I joined the family business, which is related to the steel industry. Did that for many, many, many years. But I always had an interest and always had little side projects and side ventures in the tech world. I think always. So 2013, like everybody else, when Bitcoin hit $1,000 and that whole Mount Gox debacle happened, and Bitcoin was everywhere. Of course, I started looking into it, and the steel industry happened to be very slow that year. So I had a lot of time. So I just sit in my office and watch Bitcoin videos on YouTube and just read as much as I can and learn as much as I can. And it was something that clicked right away. I was like, okay, yeah, this is something major going on here. And I started mining. Bought an ASIC miner off of eBay. Actually, the guy contacted me 8 years later, like 3-4 months ago, and he said, "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "Oh yeah," very much moved on from there. So that was kind of exciting. So yeah, just for, again, mining wasn't to make money, was to, like, I like to experiment stuff, put stuff together, try it and do it myself and see what's happening. So that was pretty fun. And I started, joined Coinbase, joined Gemini, started buying Bitcoin as well. Actually the first thing I do every morning, wake up, pick up my phone and buy a little bit of Bitcoin every single day. So in early 2017, I was like, this Bitcoin's great, right? It's buying it and holding it. And yeah, you can go on some sites, do some gambling, maybe overstock, or somebody was, no, really you couldn't do much with Bitcoin, right? Except if you go on the darknet. So I thought, let me go on the darknet market. And you remember Alphabet at that time?
Yeah, I remember Alphabet. Yes.
Yeah. So I went on Alphabet. I'm like, let me see what's going on. Let me try to buy something, right? So I tried buying antibiotics, and that is the truth. Nothing, like nothing hardcore. So I thought, let me try to buy it. So I bought some antibiotics, and I sent the payment directly from my Coinbase account to this darknet market. And I have to tell you, within 30 minutes or so, I got an email from Coinbase saying your account's being shut down. You've participated in illicit activities, which is against our terms of use, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, what the fuck? How do they know? How do they know what I'm doing with my Bitcoin? And that really hit the spot there. It hit a nerve with me, thinking, wow, anytime you do something with Bitcoin, everybody knows what you're doing. And if there is an address you're sending to that's blacklisted for whatever reason, and you may not even know that it's blacklisted, and you send it there, all of a sudden you're a bad guy. And so they shut down my account. But at the same time, on Alphabet, there was one other currency. They only took two currencies, Bitcoin and this thing called Monero. I was like, okay, why is that? Why not Ethereum? Why not Dash? Why not Litecoin? And so the same rabbit hole I went down in 2013 with Bitcoin, I started going down in early 2017. And I just started doing everything, watching as many videos as I can, read everything I could find and anything I could find. Unfortunately or fortunately, I don't know if it's the right answer. I didn't reach out to the Monero community. I just kind of read it and studied it kind of on my own, whatever I could find. And Monero, getmonero.org is very informative, a lot of information on there. So I thought, wow, this is totally amazing. You know, a privacy coin at the base layer and you can use it everywhere. But one place you couldn't use it was the iPhone on iOS. So then I thought, okay, here's a hole we have to fill. So we started building it mid 2017. We started building Cake Wallet for iOS and launched in January 2018. That's
awesome. So when you got
not that exciting.
No, I think it's great. So you're looking for antibiotics. I mean, obviously, because you needed them, or someone needed them. And so when you get this, when you get this, when Coinbase comes down on you, like what happened? Like, did you have to prove that you were just buying antibiotics for your health?
There was no chance for appeal. It was, you have violated the terms, goodbye.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And then a few months later, maybe I got put on some type of list. Gemini also canceled my account.
Oh, wow. So across the board.
Yeah, I'm a blacklisted
bad guy now. And
I'm
censored.
Labeled a criminal. Yeah, exactly.
Wow, for getting antibiotics. That's
it's insane.
That is crazy. Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, right now, and as always with Bitcoin, it seems everyone is just interested in the number going up and they're just stacking away Bitcoin. And you know what? Maybe that's good enough. Maybe all of us, like me, you, and Fluffy Pony, and other people have been, talking about privacy for so many years. And it seems like the majority of the population doesn't care about it. Everybody bitches about Facebook, but nobody deletes their account.
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that it matters. You don't care about it until it affects you personally. And exactly. So we're at the point where I could see an exponential rise of blacklistings and surveillance coins being tainted, right? Because everyone keeps going back to these KYC AML exchanges where if you're not part of the corporate structure, like PayPal, you are at least deemed suspicious. And I think that's where all these transparent surveillance coins are going, that if you're not tied into their actual grid all the time, like they want you to be. And I think the first use case of this was PayPal itself. I think you're going to be deemed suspicious, not completely tainted, but you will be suspicious. So very, very interesting. I definitely do think that people, I don't think that it's necessary for people's interest in privacy to increase, because the nature of a surveillance coin is just going to become so uncomfortable that the utility of these surveillance transparent coins, the utility is just going to go to the wayside. That's what I see happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're fully correct there. Because privacy, what does privacy lead to? It leads to fungibility. And people forget that fungibility and privacy go hand in hand. You have fungibility because it is private. And so a lot of times I say to people, listen, even if you don't care about the privacy and you say you have nothing to hide and you don't care if your transactions are open, but what about fungibility? What about it's just amazing that we even have a term, tainted Bitcoin. And you saw Whale Alert put out a tweet today or yesterday showing stolen Bitcoin, being transferred, stolen Bitcoin being transferred, So, yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely correct.
So when you create Cake Wallet, I remember that it's a pretty classic story that when you presented Cake Wallet to the Monero community, you were in for a kind of a surprise. Can you please, tell us what happened?
Uh, sure. I mean, I think it's my fault. I was uninformed. Uninformed of what open source means. And like I said earlier, we built Cake Wallet just in a vacuum on our own. We didn't communicate with anybody in the community, really. Um, and by the way, that's a great thing about cryptocurrency. It's permissionless. We didn't have to get permission from the Monero gods to say, hey, we want to build this wallet. Code is there. It's open source. You can do whatever you want with it. So that was a wonderful thing. But when I launched, I actually didn't really understand what open source meant. So we launched, and we got two responses, I think, at the same time. People are like, oh, this is great. Oh, too bad you're not open source. And this is something we kept hearing over and over again. And honestly, I would get about 50 messages a day right after we launched saying, dude, you got to go open source. You got to go open source. Or I'm not touching this wallet until you go open source. So at that time, somebody in the community reached out to me and kind of walked me through this whole open source licensing. My chair is broken. Sorry. Walked me through the whole open source licenses, and and we did it. And within a week or 10 days after launch, we were fully open source.
That's awesome. So for those watching right now, Vik, could you please explain what Cake Wallet does? And I know you guys now integrated Bitcoin into it. What could the user expect from using Cake Wallet in terms of Bitcoin and Monero?
Yeah. So Cake Wallet started out as a non-custodial, your keys, your coin wallet for the iPhone. And initially, that's all it was. It was you can send, receive, and hold your Monero in Cake Wallet. Then we expanded to Android. Well, actually, before we went to Android, we added some third-party exchanges because, as you know, getting Monero is quite difficult. In the US, you have one exchange. So we partnered up with a couple exchanges, Morph Token, XMR2, Change Now, and we had all three exchanges in there for a while. And that feature became very popular. Everyone using it quite a bit. Then we expanded out to Android, which has been great. Our growth there has been exponential, which is wonderful. And in January of this year, we added Bitcoin. And this is something, adding Bitcoin was something I was really concerned about how the Monero community would take it. We don't want them to have some belief that we're abandoning Monero or we're focusing on something. So I'll tell you why I did it. Number one, Bitcoin, whether you hate it or love it, you have to accept that it is massive. When you watch CNBC in the morning, they show the Dow, the NASDAQ, S&P, and Bitcoin. You can't deny how massive it is and how accepted it is now, number one. Number two, our exchange partners would always tell us that over 90% of the trades that happen in Cake Wallet was people going from Bitcoin to Monero. So, we just wanted to make it easier for the user, because having no two wallets in the same place, they're managing two separate wallets and trying to put everything in the exchange. I mean, it is a little difficult and not so convenient and user friendly. So I think by adding Bitcoin, we've actually accomplished two things. Maybe Bitcoin people will use it and be introduced to Monero. And secondly, the existing users of Cake Wallet or any new users, Monero users of Cake Wallet, will have that option to take in Bitcoin and convert to Monero.
So just to reiterate, let me ask, so within the wallet itself, within Cake Wallet, you're able to swap, exchange between Monero and Bitcoin, correct?
And a few other currencies.
What other currencies?
Litecoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Dash, Bitcoin Cash. I think those are the major ones. We don't have everything in there. We just thought, let's go for the popular ones. So although you can only hold Bitcoin and Monero, but you can exchange between many different currencies.
And if you were to like exchange from, for example, Monero to Bitcoin Cash, you would have to receive your Bitcoin Cash in another wallet then, correct?
Exactly.
So where does the name Cake Wallet come from? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut.
No,
you were saying?
Oh, just to go in that line, so in January we put in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is, the price and popularity has gone through the roof, and Bitcoin transactions are very expensive now. To send $100 worth of Bitcoin, you're spending $9-10, 10% of that in just Bitcoin network fees. So we're actually considering putting another coin like Litecoin, maybe, which has massively lower network fees, so people can acquire Litecoin and convert to Monero. So I just wanted to add that in there. So that's something you could probably expect in the next couple of months.
Right on.
Yeah. So Cake Wallet, you haven't heard this? Why we call it Cake Wallet?
I have a suspicion, but go for it.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
So at least for me, I don't know for anybody else. I don't know if you agree with this, but in around 2016, 2017, Bread Wallet was very popular for Bitcoin. I say that to people and they're like, what? But I thought it was super popular.
Yeah, I remember Bread Wallet. Yes, I remember.
Yeah. I think they rebranded to BRD now. I don't know if you've seen that. So that was pretty popular. And Litecoin wallet was called Loaf Wallet. Do you remember that? Or I think maybe still called Loaf Wallet.
Yeah, I used Loaf Wallet a couple of times.
Yeah,
I remember.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then I think XRP or somebody came out with Toast Wallet. So I just wanted to keep like the bakery theme going, and at that time when people thought of Bitcoin, they thought of Bread Wallet. When people thought of Litecoin, they thought of Loaf Wallet. And when people think of Monero, I want them to think of Cake Wallet.
There you go. Cake is better than bread.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
It's definitely it's a fun name. Then of course, right after that, then you have like Cake Browser come out, and this Pancake Swap. Have you heard of that? It's like some DeFi platform.
And I know DeFi has all the food in the menu. So yeah.
And I guess they have a coin called Cake. So we get support tickets all the time. How do I transfer my Cake coins? We're like, no, not the same Cake.
Right on. So what do you have in store for the future of Cake Wallet? What's in the future? Where do you see Cake Wallet? What's the game plan?
The ultimate goal is fiat on ramp straight to Monero. So you don't have to go through Bitcoin or Litecoin. That's the ultimate goal. And it's a very slow process because we want to do it very, legally and straightforward. So we're right now in the process of getting state licenses. We've gotten 5 states already. Maybe when we get to 10 states, we may just do like a small launch, maybe a pilot, like a little pilot program with 10 states. And as we collect more states and add more states, I get more licenses, we can keep adding them. Or maybe we do that with 5 states now. That could be something we're considering. So the ultimate goal for me has always been to make Cake. I hate to say this, but to make Cake the Cash App of Monero, but in a non-custodial way, right? Cash App is a custodial service like Coinbase or Gemini, but we want to do it in a non-custodial way, which is more in line with the ethos of Monero and the cypherpunk mentality.
Right on. That is really neat. And it goes to show that like you can monetize open source projects. A lot of people question, well, how do I monetize something that is open source? And the classic example would be how Mozilla is paid by Google to be the default browser, right? Mozilla being open source, right? So that seeing your example is also it's very encouraging for everyone. So right now you're going through the process of getting licensing. tell us about that. About maybe how is that process for Monero? Because during the Crypto Vigilantes Summit, Justin Ehrenhofer told us how it would be actually more advantageous for people that work in compliance to have Monero listed on KYC AML exchanges, right? For the sake of them doing their due diligence, which is it's contrarian to what people believe, that KYC AML exchanges wouldn't want a privacy coin. What has been your experience in regards to going through all of this compliance and all that?
Sure. I mean, the state licenses don't specify privacy coins or surveillance coins or open ledger coins. It's more related to just a crypto license, right? However, they do differentiate stable coins, because the stable coins are backed by something. They're linked to the dollar or whatever currency they're linked to. So they do differentiate. Some states do differentiate stable coins, but there's no differentiation between Monero and Bitcoin. And as Justin and you saw the white paper that we also were part of funding it, and Perkins Coie. It's called. I didn't like the name. I think was a little scary. Comply first, But I think that paper clearly showed that the current methods of KYC and AML, what have you, why should they be different from what more do you need to do? They pretty much are in line with what's required by law, even for privacy coins. So, the legal advice we have is we can do this. Nowhere does it specify that for a privacy coin you have to do anything extra than what you're doing for other cryptocurrencies.
Right on. Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of ignorance out there within the exchanges, but I think they're going to catch on sooner or later. Some of them are smarter than others, though. You hope not? Oh, you enjoy their ignorance, right?
Exactly.
Okay, good. Yeah. We won't tell no one, please. If you're watching this, please tell them that Monero is really scary and that they should never list Monero. There you go, Vic.
Right. Yep. It's for murderers and drug dealers. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Keep them away. Keep them away. What do you? Okay, so I was talking to Howard Shu a couple of days ago, and he put on his tinfoil hat, and he said that that he wouldn't be surprised if there was price suppression of Monero. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I didn't see that part of the interview, and I haven't thought about it.
It just seems very undervalued right now, in my personal opinion.
I mean, I think it's undervalued because it's not accessible. I mean, think of any coin that's get listed on Coinbase. It goes through the roof, right? Initially. So, and Kraken, not many people have heard of Kraken. So, I mean, forget about Monero. Just walk out on the street and ask the next 10 people, do you own any Bitcoin? And I bet you 10 out of 10 will say no. And probably 5 out of 10 will say, no, what is that? So maybe, I mean, Howard Shu's a brilliant human being. I love listening to him speak. Even my wife loves listening to him speak, but I don't think that's the reason. I don't see how somebody would accomplish that. I think it's just accessibility. I mean, everyone I talk to, I say, I'm doing this thing called Cake Wallet. It's from Monero. And then a couple of days later, they're like, oh, where do I get it? I went on my Coinbase account or Gemini account, and I can't get it. It seems like, I don't know, 90% of, and I don't know, I haven't seen any statistics on this, but it seems like most of the people that are into crypto mainly for the number go up and pretty much on Coinbase or Gemini. So I think that's the reason the price is low, no other reason. And there's a fear. Did you see my interview with Jason Williams, the going parabolic guy?
No, I did not see your interview. Can you please share with us what happened there?
You know, it was exactly this, that like, and Monero has this. He wanted me to come on, and he even his the title of that show was Vik Sharma is going to come on to demystify privacy coins, and I was like, there's nothing to demystify. It's just all the information is not shared publicly. That's it. That's all there is to it. You know, so there is that fear. Of Monero and the reputation with the darknet markets, so people don't want to touch it. I think that's why the price is low. My
I'm
opinion.
actually fearful of a transparent surveillance coin like Bitcoin or Ethereum. Gosh, I mean,
100%.
everything you do, you're in a glass house. Everyone sees, anyone in the world can see what you're doing, where you're spending your money. That is nuts. That to me is if you're running a business and you have money of your business, or you're doing business with a transparent surveillance coin, I honestly think that's irresponsible. You're literally opening up the finances of your business to everyone in the world, for everyone in the world to see, your competitors or anyone that wants to come after you and maybe even extort you. So yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. Transparent
Right. I
surveillance
mean,
coins are not for me.
right. Exactly. I mean, I feel more nervous sending Bitcoin. Where did you go? Oh, what happened? You dropped your
Yeah, my
earpiece.
earbud fell. I got too
Oh,
excited
okay.
because
I know. I know.
yeah,
So
transparent
I was
surveillance
saying,
coins are scary. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was saying, I feel nervous when I'm sending Bitcoin to somebody. I really do. I'm like, right before I press that send button, I'm like, should I? What's going to happen? Whereas Monero, I have no fear, none at all. Send it, nothing can happen. It's great, and it's cheaper and faster.
Yeah, it's really antithetical to what people thought they had purchased in the early days with Bitcoin. It really is almost the opposite experience of when I got into Bitcoin. It's I honestly I can't see myself doing business in a transparent surveillance coin anymore. It's just, to me it's nuts. It's crazy, but it's I guess we're just early, Vic. That's it. We're just early here. And so right now, the Monero community is getting really excited about atomic swaps and decentralized exchanges. And I
Yeah,
think that will create more liquidity. My question is, do you think that will ease the on-ramping for Monero that you were referring to?
I think so. I mean, I think it all depends on how user friendly it is. I mean, there will be a very technical group of people, set of people that are going to use something like that and have the patience for it. And um, but as I always say, technology, it's useless if people can't use it. So we have to see this atomic swaps. How user friendly can we make it? Can we integrate it into like a cake wallet and and have a very seamless feel for the user? So we're definitely going to try to do something with it if we can, if it's possible to do it on mobile. We haven't looked into detail yet. We're letting it develop more, and seeing where it goes before. I don't think it's anywhere near ready to be mobile friendly. So yeah, I mean, I think it's great. I think it's going to be great for Monero. I think it's going to be bad for Bitcoin. And another thing we're looking at is Thor chain. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, yeah. I was looking at Torchain today, actually. Yeah, they seem
Yeah,
to be doing a good job there.
exactly. So yeah, I've reached out to them. I actually have a Telegram chat set up with them to learn more how that's going to work. That seems pretty exciting. So we're looking at all these decentralized methods, systems that are coming up. So I think it's a good thing. I think the future, as everyone's been saying, the future is decentralization, and it's happening in finance with DeFi. It's going to happen. It's going to accelerate with these chain-to-chain swaps. Um, Either the way Farcaster is doing it, or the way Thorchain is going to do it. But that's definitely the future.
Yeah, I really look forward to the day when in crypto, the word fungibility is as popular as decentralization.
Yeah.
It's just,
I,
it seems as if we're still very early.
Look, we were early in 2013 with Bitcoin, right? So we're early now with Monero.
There you go,
Yeah.
Vic. Vic, so for anyone watching this, I hope there's many people watching this, looking at you and your example and what you've done with Cake Wallet. And I hope that everything that you've shared with us today has encouraged them to take the entrepreneurial leap, because I've said it before, what really excites me in crypto is the entrepreneurship in crypto, because that's really what creates the space, right? These capital goods that are built on top of crypto itself. And to see you building on such a solid foundation like Monero's, fungibility and decentralization, that's very encouraging. What would you say to someone watching this right now that is thinking about jumping in as an entrepreneur within crypto?
Don't overthink it. Number one, you're not going to figure out everything before you start. It's a new field. It's an ever-changing field, and you just have to jump in with both feet and learn as you build.
Where can people find out more about Cake Wallet, and where can they go download it?
Yeah, just go to cakewallet.com. There'll be links there for the Apple App Store. There's links there for Google Play. And just this week, we added a direct APK download for Android, so you don't have to go to the Google Play Store. So that was actually a big demand from the Monero community, from the Android Monero community. They don't use Google Play. So we put it up there now. So there's 3 links there now, and you can download the APK.
That's so cool. Yeah, they really like their de-Googled phones, I guess.
Yeah, they really do, really do. But the other thing is we very much listen to the community. We're almost kind of led by the community. We listen to their needs and wants, and we kind of shape our direction, for the Monero community. So we're still dedicated to that.
Awesome, Vic. Well, Vic, thank you for being with us today. We really appreciate all your wisdom, and I definitely want to invite you to the next TCV Summit. So get ready. I'm going to send you that invitation in the near future.
Great.
Awesome. I look forward to having you there. Guys, thank you for tuning in. Peace, love, anarchy, and thank you for being with us. See you next time.
Thanks a lot.